The rain hammered against the windows of our Chicago apartment, mirroring the storm raging inside me. For 20 years, Alaric, a software engineer, had built a life with my wife, Braunt. We'd met in college, young and full of dreams, and together we'd navigated the ups and downs of adulthood. We had a comfortable life, a beautiful home, and two wonderful children, now grown and starting their own lives. Or so I thought. It started subtly, almost imperceptibly. Braunt, a vibrant and outgoing event planner, began working longer hours. Business trips became more frequent. Her explanations were always plausible, but a nagging unease settled in my gut. I dismissed it as stress, the pressure of her demanding job. I trusted her implicitly. Braunt was the bedrock of our family, the woman I'd pledged to spend my life with. Cheating was something only happened to other people in other families, not mine. Then came the phone. It was a Saturday morning and Braunt was in the shower. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand, a name flashing across the screen. Declan. The message preview read, "Can't wait to see you tonight, my love." My breath hitched. Declan? Who was Declan? My mind raced, trying to find a logical explanation. A client, a colleague, but the "my love" that was unmistakable. I felt a cold dread creep through me, a chilling premonition of what was to come. My hands trembled as I unlocked her phone, something I'd never done before. The password was our anniversary date, a date etched in my heart. It felt like a betrayal just to be entering it. I navigated to her messages, my heart pounding in my chest. There it was, a thread with Declan, filled with intimate exchanges, declarations of love, and plans for secret rendezvous. The words swam before my eyes, each message a dagger twisting in my heart. They'd been seeing each other for months, meeting in hotels, sharing stolen moments. The reality crashed down on me, shattering the idyllic image of our marriage. Braunt, the woman I loved, the mother of my children, was having an affair. The shower stopped, and I frantically wiped away the tears that had welled up in my eyes, trying to compose myself. I couldn't let her see me like this, not yet. I needed to confront her, to hear her explanation, even though I already knew the truth. I placed the phone back on the nightstand and walked into the kitchen, my legs feeling like lead. Braunt emerged from the bedroom, her hair wrapped in a towel, a bright smile on her face. "Morning, darling," she said, kissing me on the cheek. Her touch felt foreign, tainted by her betrayal. I forced a smile, trying to act normal, but my voice wavered. "Morning," I replied, my throat tight. "Who's Declan?" Her smile faltered, a flicker of panic in her eyes. "Declan. Oh, he's just a colleague from work," she said, her voice a little too high-pitched. "We're working on a big project together. Is that why he calls you my love?" I asked, my voice dangerously low. Her eyes widened and the color drained from her face. She stammered, "I can explain." "Explain what, Braunt?" "Explain how you've been lying to me for months. Explain how you've been betraying our marriage, our family." My voice rose, the anger finally erupting. Tears streamed down her face as she confessed everything. The affair had started innocently enough, a friendship that had blossomed into something more. She claimed she hadn't meant for it to happen, that she still loved me, but the words rang hollow. "I don't understand," I said, my voice breaking. "How could you do this to us? To me, I was unhappy, Alaric," she said, her voice barely a whisper. "I felt like we'd grown apart. You were always working and I felt neglected," I repeated, incredulous. "I worked hard to provide for our family, to give us a good life." "Is that what you call neglect?" I know," she said, sobbing. "I made a mistake. Please, can you forgive me?" Forgiveness was the furthest thing from my mind. The pain was too raw, the betrayal too deep. My world had been shattered, and I didn't know if I could ever piece it back together. "I need you to leave," I said, my voice cold and hard. "Leave." "Where am I supposed to go?" she asked, her eyes pleading. "I don't care," I said. "Just go." She packed a bag, her tears falling silently. As she walked out the door, she turned back to me, her face etched with regret. "I am so sorry, Alaric," she said. "I've ruined everything." I watched her go, feeling numb. The apartment felt empty, devoid of her presence. The life we had built together was gone, reduced to ashes by her infidelity. The following days were a blur of lawyers, divorce papers, and painful conversations with our children. They were devastated by the news, struggling to understand why their mother had betrayed their father and their family. I threw myself into my work, using it as a distraction from the pain. But at night, when I was alone in the empty apartment, the grief would wash over me, suffocating me. I couldn't sleep, couldn't eat, couldn't find any solace. One evening, as I was scrolling through Braunt's social media, I stumbled upon a picture of her and Declan, laughing and holding hands on a beach in Mexico. The caption read, "Living our best life." A wave of fury washed over me, stronger than anything I had felt before. They were flaunting their affair, oblivious to the pain they had caused. That's when I decided I couldn't let them get away with it. I needed to make them pay for what they had done, to show them the consequences of their actions. I needed revenge. I started by digging into Declan's background. He was a successful lawyer, married with 2 young children. His life seemed as perfect as mine had once been. I contacted his wife, Aloan, and told her everything. At first, she didn't believe me, but I provided her with the evidence, the messages, the photos, everything. The truth hit her hard, and she was just as devastated as I had been. Together, we hatched a plan to expose Braunt and Declan's affair, to reveal their deceit to the world. We started by leaking the information to their employers. Braunt lost her job, her reputation tarnished. Declan faced disciplinary action from his law firm, his career hanging in the balance. Then we went public. We contacted the local newspaper and shared our story, providing them with all the evidence. The story went viral, and Braunt and Declan became pariahs. Their families were humiliated, their friends ostracized them, and their lives were turned upside down. Watching them suffer brought me a measure of satisfaction, but it didn't erase the pain. The scars of Braunt's betrayal would always remain. But I had taken back control of my life, and I was determined to move on, to rebuild my future. I focused on my children, spending more time with them, supporting them through this difficult time. I started dating again, cautiously, learning to trust again. It wasn't easy, but I was determined not to let Braunt's betrayal define me. One day I received a call from Braunt. She was desperate, begging me to take her back. Declan had left her, she said, and she had nowhere else to go. She realized she had made a terrible mistake, and she wanted to make amends. I listened to her pleas, but my heart remained unmoved. I couldn't forgive her, couldn't forget what she had done. "It's too late, Braunt," I said. "You made your choice, and now you have to live with the consequences." I hung up the phone, feeling a sense of closure. I had finally moved on, leaving the past behind me. Braunt's betrayal had been a painful chapter in my life, but it had also made me stronger, more resilient. I had learned to value myself, to prioritize my happiness, and to never again tolerate such deceit. Years passed. I remarried a wonderful woman named Winona, who loved me for who I was. We built a new life together, filled with love, trust, and happiness. Braunt, on the other hand, never recovered. She bounced from job to job, relationship to relationship, never finding the happiness she had sought in her affair. One day I ran into her at a grocery store. She looked older, worn down by life. Eyes met mine, and I saw a flicker of regret. "Alaric," she said, her voice barely audible. "I am sorry." "I know," I said. "I hope you find peace, Braunt." I walked away, leaving her standing there, alone and filled with remorse. I had found my peace, my happiness. And that was the greatest revenge of all. Looking back, I realized that Braunt's betrayal was a turning point in my life. It was a painful, devastating experience, but it also taught me valuable lessons about love, trust, and forgiveness. I emerged from the ashes stronger, wiser, and more determined to live a life of authenticity and integrity. And that, in the end, is all that truly matters. I am Alaric, and this is my story of betrayal and ultimately of survival. I caught my wife in a web of lies and deceit, discovering her affair with a colleague through a careless text message. The revelation shattered my world, leading to a painful confrontation, a messy divorce, and a burning desire for revenge. I exposed their affair, leading to professional and social consequences for both of them. Though the scars of betrayal remain, I rebuilt my life, finding love and happiness again. My story is a testament to resilience and the power of moving on. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it resonates with you and offers a message of hope amidst heartbreak.